Ever walk away from a conversation replaying every word in your head, thinking, wow, that was a mess? Maybe you agreed to something you didn't even want, just to escape the awkward silence. Or maybe you felt like the quieter you were, the more invisible you became. So you talked, a lot, filled every second, just to prove you belonged. We've all been there. But what if I told you silence wasn't awkward, it was powerful? What if I told you that knowing when not to speak is what actually makes the best negotiators, leaders, and even friends stand out? This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about presence, control, peace. Today, I'm going to teach you how to use silence like a master, like a negotiator who doesn't blink, like a monk in a world full of noise. And I promise you won't lose your humanity. In fact, you'll become more you than ever before. Lesson 1. Why we talk too much. Okay, let's be real. Most of us talk too much, especially when we're nervous. It's that instinct to fill the gap. We want to seem smart, likable, on top of things. So we speak, fast, often, loud. But the loudest person in the room isn't always the most powerful. In fact, they rarely are. You know who taught me this? A friend I'll call Sam. Sam barely says anything in meetings. But when he does, the room goes quiet. People lean in, because he's not speaking to fill air. He's speaking because he's got something worth hearing. Sam's got what I call deep river energy. Calm, powerful, intentional. Like Magnus Carlsen in a chess match, completely still, laser-focused, and terrifying to play against. Your first mission? Start using the 3-second rule. When someone finishes speaking, count to 3 before you respond. Even just mentally, it builds presence. Tells your brain we don't need to react, we get to choose. Lesson 2. Silence isn't empty. It's a spotlight. Most people panic when silence hits a conversation. They think it means something's wrong. But the truth? Silence is a spotlight. And when you go quiet, you shine it on the other person. Say someone makes a bold claim, "We need to cut this feature. It's too expensive." Most people would jump in to defend. Well, it's actually crucial to the user journey but what if you just looked at them? Not aggressively, just quietly, calmly. That silence makes them uncomfortable. They start explaining, then justifying. They might even backtrack. You didn't argue. You didn't attack. You just let the silence do its thing. Elon Musk does this in interviews all the time. Long pauses, no rush. He lets the weight of the question hang, and it changes the dynamic completely. Your challenge? In your next disagreement, don't jump in. Let the silence stretch. Watch how people react. The truth almost always comes out under pressure. Alright, real talk. Has there ever been a time when silence totally helped you or completely threw you off? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to read your story. Whether it was a job offer, a relationship moment, or just an awkward silence that turned powerful. Your experience might inspire someone else watching. Lesson 3. The vacuum effect. You've probably heard the phrase, "Nature abhors a vacuum." Well, so does conversation. Ask a bold question, like, "Why was this decision made?" And then pause. The silence acts like a truth magnet. It draws out the real answer. This is classic interrogation psychology. Detectives know that once a suspect starts talking, silence is what gets them to spill everything. I once coached a friend through a rent negotiation. Her landlord hit her with a $200 increase. She stared at the email, called him, and simply said, "That's a pretty big jump." Then nothing. The silence was deafening. The landlord scrambled. "I mean, it's market rate, but if it's tough for you, maybe I can check." She saved $100 a month by just letting the silence sit. The move? Ask once, then wait. Let them fill the space. Lesson 4. Silence AS and emotional shield. Now let's get into emotional stuff. Silence isn't just for strategy. It's for survival. Someone throws a passive-aggressive comment your way. "Wow, you're really trying something new with that outfit, huh?" Your instinct, snap back. But now you're in their game. Instead, don't say a word. Just look at them, or even smile gently. That's it. Suddenly, they feel exposed. Their shot didn't land. And more importantly, you've stayed in control. David Goggins says, "You have to master your mind or your mind will master you." Silence is how you call time out when your emotions are racing. Imagine being in a fortress. Their words are arrows. You're behind the wall, calm, untouched. That's what silence gives you. Practice it next time someone tries to rattle you. Breathe. Say nothing. Let the moment pass. Lesson 5. The strategic pause. Let's talk about how to pause like a pro. A strategic pause is silence with weight. It's what makes a statement echo instead of disappear. Imagine you're speaking in a group. You say, "I think we're solving the wrong problem." And then you stop, just for a second. Let it hang. That pause frames your point. Says, "This matters." Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, is known for his quiet presence. In meetings, he'll ask a question, then go completely silent. People fidget. They start answering again, trying to read his mind. That pause is how he tests their confidence. A well-placed pause also buys you time. Time to think, to choose the right word, to avoid saying something you'll regret. Try it today. Make your point, then pause. Watch how it changes the room. Lesson 6. Silence plus self-worth equals results. Let's wrap this up with a full-circle story. David's interviewing for a dream job. The hiring manager offers him $80,000. Old David would have said, I was hoping for more, but $80,000 is fine." New David? He says, "Nothing." He breathes, nods, thinks, waits. The manager fills the gap. "Of course, that's flexible based on experience. I could probably get approval for $90,000. That's $10,000 earned in silence." But here's the thing, it's not just about tactics. It's about self-worth. David didn't stay quiet to manipulate. He stayed quiet because he valued himself enough to let the offer come to him. When you believe in your value, you stop rushing to explain it. You let people see it. Bonus lesson. The power of silence in friendships. Silence isn't just for negotiations and power plays. It's a language in close relationships too. Think about your closest friend. The kind of person you can sit next to for an hour without saying a word, and it's not weird. It's actually nice. That's what trust sounds like. Silence without tension. We're so used to proving we care by talking, giving advice, checking in, filling the air with affirmations. And sure, words matter. But sometimes the greatest gift is presence. Being fully there, quietly, listening without the pressure to fix. I once had a friend going through a rough time. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't. I just sat with them on the porch. We drank coffee, watched the trees move. After an hour, they looked at me and said, "Thanks for not trying to make it better." That helped more than anything. That moment stuck with me. It taught me that sometimes silence is the comfort. Try this. Next time someone you care about is venting, don't interrupt. Don't give advice. Just listen. Let the quiet between their sentences be a soft place for them to land. Digital silence is power too. Let's not forget the world we live in. Constant pings, notifications, comment sections, endless scrolling. You know what's rare now? Not replying instantly, choosing not to comment, sitting with a message before reacting. Digital silence is radical presence. You don't need to explain your boundaries. You don't owe instant replies. You can let that text sit until your energy feels right. You are allowed to create space even online. In fact, people will respect you more when they notice you don't just react. You respond with intention, on your time. Mini challenge. Today, resist the urge to reply right away to everything. Let a few messages breathe. Just watch how that pause shifts your power. Let's wrap with someone who used silence like a sculptor, Barack Obama. Ever notice how he speaks? He pauses, often, after every sentence. He lets words land. He doesn't rush. He gives weight to silence as if it were part of the sentence itself. Those pauses made him sound thoughtful, wise, presidential. But more than that, they made us listen. Even when we disagreed with him, we leaned in. Because he didn't fight for attention, he earned it with calm. You don't need to be president to do that. You just need to trust that what you have to say will land better if it's delivered with stillness. If all of this feels overwhelming, just start with one habit. Pause 1 second before your next reply. In a meeting, in a text, in a disagreement, let your silence speak first. That pause might just be the difference between reacting and responding with wisdom. And honestly, that's the difference between noise and power. If this video made you think or made you pause even just once, tap the like button. And if you're into this kind of calm, powerful self-improvement, hit subscribe. Join the crew. We're building a community where presence hustle. And hey, turn on the bell. Not because I'll shout at you when I upload, but because it's a gentle nudge to keep showing up with intention. Silence is your power. Start using it today. Talk soon. Or not.